Not saying that this will happen to you, that this will not happen, but I've seen some stories from people, not just from Laurel Road, but also from other banks, that they get locked out and then just don't know why. Now, with all this being said, let's look at the Laurel Road pros and cons. Now, what happens if Laurel Road fails?
Breaking news on the economy. It's news that could have big impacts on your wallet.
The Federal Reserve just announced it is holding interest rates steady for a full year now. The benchmark rate has remained at a 23-year high, but the Fed is hinting more than ever that a cut could be coming soon, just not today.
Is Laurel Road for you? Is this one of the best high-yield savings accounts out there? And I've heard mixed reviews about Laurel Road. And the first time I heard about this account was a couple of months ago when somebody made a comment on one of my YouTube videos. And I decided to look into it. So in today's video, we're going to go over the pros, cons, and of course, a couple of frequently asked questions that I get to help you choose the best high-yield savings account for yourself, to help you find an organization where you can bank and save with confidence and start getting the passive income now that there are reports out there that the Fed may start lowering the interest rates. So that's, of course, going to start trickling down and affecting these high-yield savings accounts. So now it's the best time to just start milking this for as much of it as it's worth. That's the way I personally see it anyways. One of the things that I like to think about when I think a Laurel Road is a little bit underrated. And I'm going to be showing you here the facts, and I'm going to be showing you here what I personally think as someone who has been using high-yield savings accounts. And in fact, I did open an account with Laurel Road, and it was mainly for research purposes. And so I'm going to give you here what I thought. Now, I've been using high-yield savings accounts for the last couple of years after my wife and I finished paying off over $215,000 in debt. So nowadays, we use these high-yield savings accounts for our emergency fund. We're also saving for a house. So, of course, we want to maximize the money that we bring in, and a high interest rate nowadays is one of the best ways to do so. So, with this being said, what you can see on the screen right now, these are my personal high-yield savings accounts checklist. These are things that I will personally look for if I were to choose a high-yield savings account right now in 2024. And these are requirements or targets that I developed as an engineer. As you guys, if you've been watching the channel for a bit, you know that I've been saying this for quite a bit now, but it's true. And here is where we're going to go into the meat of the video and overall general features. And we're going to go one by one here. And the first one is the interest rate, the elephant in the room. And you may be wondering, is this the only thing that it's important? In reality, it's not. It's not the only thing to pay attention to, but it is obviously enticing. And that's the first thing that we look at because it grabs our attention. We don't want to bank with an organization that gives us nothing for our hard-earned money. So the first thing we have here is a 5.15% as of August 2024. And it's one of the highest ones that I've seen up until this point. Now, if you're wondering if they have an opening account bonus, they have one going on for checking. And there's another one also going on for savings, which I will go into here in a second. Now, when it comes to FDIC insurance, they provide the regular $250,000 per account per owner, and that's very standard. I don't want to bank with any organization that is not FDIC insured. And one thing to keep in mind here is that not all commercial banks are FDIC insured, little did you know. And when it comes to, of course, banking with confidence and peace of mind, it's very, very important. Now, when it comes to minimum deposit and maintenance fees, none of that is part of their core services, and they don't charge you any fees, so you don't have the minimum deposit. So you could start banking with them if you have $1, $10. Personally, I am someone that shies away from banking with an organization that charges maintenance fees because that just eats up on your savings. So that's really the bottom line. So if you are someone that is wondering, okay, so 5.15%, how can I help? Can you help me visualize that? And let's just assume for simplicity purposes that you are trying to deposit or that you will deposit $10,000. So with $10,000 and assuming that interest rates remain the same for the next year, and also assuming that you do not make any other contributions to monthly deposits, what you would get in 1 year is $514 of passive income. So if it's 2 years, you will be making $1,000, or let's just no, that's not true. If you deposit $20,000, this would be $1,000. If you deposit $30,000, we're already at $1,500 a year. So as you can see, this starts adding up. And if you haven't been taking advantage of these high yield savings accounts right now, hey, that's okay. The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The next best time is today. So you can get started with any of these organizations. Now, for Laurel Road, one of the things that I started adding here is comparisons and see how they do with respect to other organizations out there. At the time of making of this video, of course, you can see there's going to be other competitors, and each of these organizations and brands are going to be different. They're going to have different appeals to different people. You may like American Express, you may like BMO Alto, but overall, I just wanted to give you here an overview on how Laurel Road compares to all of these organizations like American Express, BMO Alto, Discover, Marcus, which is my primary high yield savings account organization. SoFi is another one that I use. And of course, UFB Direct, which many of these organizations, I have made reviews here on the channel. So if you're interested in watching and learning more about those and what I think, my thoughts on it, then go ahead and do so here after you watch this video, of course. Now, when it comes to account access, you can access this through online banking and your mobile app through your phone. So there's pretty much standard there. When it comes to making deposits, you can do external transfers. Now, if you're wondering, hey, how long does it take to make a withdrawal to transfer from one organization to another? Generally speaking, it takes about 1 to 3 business days. Now, I'm saying generally speaking because this is going to depend on a variety of different things, whether it is a holiday, how much money you are transferring. So there's many things to take into account here when you are making a withdrawal. But overall, all said and done, it's 1 to 3 business days, which is pretty average and pretty standard for most of the organizations that I'm looking into. Now, if you are wondering, hey, if I open a savings account with this organization, do they have any other services, like, for example, checking accounts? Do they offer credit cards and loans? And the answer is yes. They have mortgages, they have personal loans, and other things that you can take advantage of if you are interested in them. All right, so a couple of other things that I want to mention here is something that is very important to me is the branding. Is the organization that I'm considering, does it have a long history of proven performance per se, and to put it in a way? And Laurel Road is part of KeyBank, and KeyBank has been in business for very much a long time. So certainly something to take into account and be aware of to help you make a decision on who you want to bank with. When it comes to minimum number of withdrawals per month, Laurel Road offers 7 withdrawals per month, and it doesn't charge any fees for exceeding this limit, which is very good. So there are some organizations out there that charge you fees. There are also some that lock you out of your account if you exceed these withdrawal or transfers. So be very careful, read the reviews before you pull the trigger on an organization where you're going to put your hard-earned money. Now, when it comes to customer service, they do offer customer service from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, when it comes to reviews from NerdWallet and Bankrate, they do NerdWallet gives it a 4.3 for savings, and Bankrate gives it a 5.0. Well, that's pretty high. 5.0 out of 5. Hey, that's quite a lot. Okay, so now let's go on to the frequently asked questions that I get. How long would these high yield savings accounts stay this high? And quite honestly, I don't think for too much longer, because I've been seeing reports that the Fed may start cutting interest rates in probably like September, and don't quote me on that, but this is going to have direct effects on the rates that banks offer. So these high yield savings accounts, they're going to become medium high yield savings accounts, and then they're going to become regular yield savings accounts pretty soon. So now it's the best time to take advantage of them. Now, what happens if Laurel Road fails? I started including these as one of my frequently asked questions because it's very important for peace of mind. So if a bank fails, it would usually be bought by another bank and your account would just transfer. But if no one buys the bank, the FDIC will step in, write you a check after a couple of business days of the bank failure. So it's very important. There is unfortunately, plenty of case studies and real life examples. Like one of them that comes to mind is Silicon Valley Bank a couple of years ago. I think it was 2022 where it failed. And there's also other banks out there that when they fail, either they get bought out, it absorbed by a bigger fish, or the FDIC needs to step in and refund the customers essentially. Another question that comes to mind, and this is something that I want to spend a few seconds in, is what if I need to withdraw money for a big purchase or a down payment on a house? Or maybe you need to get married, or maybe you need to make a large purchase for a vacation home. Who knows? There are plenty of reasons why you need to take a large sum of money from your high yield savings. Now, one thing that I've been noticing is that when you take out a lot of money, when I called the bank a little while ago, I saw some people complaining about two specific banks. And when I reached out to one of them, this bank said that many times these banks hold your money to make sure you are the one receiving the money on the other end. Whether it is a third party, they want to make sure that the third party is taking those funds out with your approval and that you're aware of it. Or if you're withdrawing it to an account that you own, then they want to make sure that you also own that account. And in a sense, in the grand scheme of things, long story short, that means that they're trying to be careful with the safety features and they want to make sure that you are not being scammed out of your money. What some people are going to say is, no, they just try to maximize how much interest they get from your money, so they want to hold it as long as possible. The bottom line here is, if you are going to withdraw a large amount of money from your high yield savings account, one thing that I suggest you do is being aware of the withdrawal limits per day, because that can red flag your account and they may hold your money for longer than it's necessary. Also, transferring ahead of time, if you can help it, maybe 2 weeks in advance, maybe 10 weeks, maybe 10 days in advance. And also calling customer service ahead of time. One of the things that I used to do back in the day when I was traveling everywhere and going internationally, I would call my phone, I would call my credit card, my bank, letting them know that I was going to travel. And I will have to give them the dates of the travel, so that way they don't lock me out of my credit card or my bank accounts and I'm just stranded in the middle of Europe. So that's just something to keep in mind, and just give them a call to give them the heads up. And also communicate with the bank and calling them before making transactions out of the ordinary overall. Whether you go out of the country, whether you're going to be withdrawing thousands of dollars out of your account, or maybe you're going to be sending the money to a third party that is out of the country. So just be mindful of these transactions and try to be a little bit more proactive, so that way you don't end up locked out of your account. Now, of course, I'm not guaranteeing that's going to be the case. I'm not saying that this will happen to you, that this will not happen, but I've seen some stories from people, not just from Laurel Road, but also from other banks, that they get locked out and then just don't know why. Now, with all this being said, let's look at the Laurel Road pros and cons. So we have, for pros, of course, a high interest rate at 5.15% right now. No monthly fees or minimum balance. Of course, the regular standard FDIC insurance. No fees for exceeding withdrawal limits. The user-friendly mobile app. And quite honestly, and this has just been my personal experience, one day that I had to call Laurel Road to help me with my account. I've seen some people complain about the customer service, which, hey, everybody has different experiences, different ways to look at it, to different perspectives. But honestly, when I called Laurel Road, it was one of the nicest and best customer service agents I have ever encountered. And I'm not taking that lightly. I take customer service very highly, very seriously, because I know the satisfaction of clients and customers. For example, when I hold my one-on-one coaching services and my clients, I aim at providing the best customer service I can provide. And I expect the same when I call these different organizations. And that's exactly what I got when I called Laurel Road. Now, there's going to be different people watching this video that already bank with Laurel Road. You may have had different experiences. If so, please let me know in the comments, and maybe we're just the agent. Maybe it's just the agent. Anyway, long rant aside, the cons with Laurel Road is no physical branches. Of course, it's fully online. Also, limited customer service support hours. I mean, I just put that out here just so that you get try to provide a full picture for you. And also, some users have reported account access issues and lengthy review processes, especially when your account is new. Try not to set up flags. And one thing that I've noticed is when your account is new, many people put money in and then they take it out immediately. And that can trigger the system. And a lot of these systems are automated, and you're going to have to end up calling customer service and having a bad experience. So just be mindful to take it slow. And so that way you don't have issues with your account or an organization. So is Laurel Road for you? Is this an organization that you want to start banking with? Would I recommend it to my mom? Hey, it's a good option if you're looking for a high interest rate, no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. It's FDIC insured. It's got no fees or exceeding withdrawal limits if you ever exceed one. And again, personally, great customer service in my experience. So, and also, it may not be for you if you want to bank somewhere with physical branch access. Maybe you want to bank with an organization that provides more customer service hours available. Maybe you are overseas, so you need to call somebody in the middle of the night here at Eastern time in the United States. And that's just going to be up to you, of course. Or maybe you just want to bank with another organization that appeals more to you and the branding. Somebody maybe that is a little bit more modern and like offers different investment services. So, of course, personal finance is personal, and it's going to be up to you what you end up deciding for yourself. And of course, I want the best for you. So if Laurel is for you, there's a link in the description that you can use. You can get a bonus for your high yield savings account opening, and you will get $200 if you deposit $30,000, $100 if you deposit between $15,000 and $29,000, and $50 if you deposit $5,000 and $15,000. If you find this review useful, give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter at the bottom where I go over financial planning for families, how to manage time, overall helping you increase your income online, achieve financial freedom, and build a brighter future for you and your family. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.